did you personally feel like you had any certain advantages or disadvantages when it came to accomplishing these challenges? Anything that kind of helped you personally?
Well, I felt a few disadvantages. It was basically just, I think the entire game was more of a head game for me, because I would do a challenge that involved like some milk or liquids with goggles, and I didn't do well at that challenge. And then the next challenge required paint and goggles. So then I got in my head, oh my gosh, I can't do any challenge with goggles because I just keep failing and failing. So it was kind of just a mind game, playing with myself. So that was a little bit of a disadvantage. I think I kind of beat myself down in my head before I would even get going on the game. But as far as advantages go, again, I think just being friendly to everyone and just kind of being a mediator in the group and trying to be funny and lighten the mood all the time just helped me maybe go a little bit further than maybe I should have. So I think a positive attitude is definitely what kept me there for a long time.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So how long did you survive on the show?
I survived 27 out of 30 days of taping.
Wow.
So quite a while. I wish I would have made it the whole way.
What was your final challenge?
In the elimination challenge, I was against a guy named Justin, and we had to be strapped in on a trampoline, and we had 3 minutes to hit as many balloons up in the air as you possibly could. And while that sounds easy, those balloons were really high up there, and I'm thinking to myself, well, I'm going to have the advantage. I'm taller than Justin. But in the end, it was kind of the person who had a little bit more weight on them was able to get up a little bit higher. So that was a very hard challenge, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, if I lose this, I go home, I lose the 250, so you're completely stressed out, and you've got all these Japanese people screaming, go Megan, in the background. So it was just a very, very stressful portion of the show.
I can imagine. And did they do the whole, sayonara ceremony before you left?
They did. I was the one to do the balloons first, and then Justin went, and I knew how many balloons I had hit, so as soon as he hit one more balloon than me, my heart just dropped to my stomach, and I was doing everything I could to fight back the tears as soon as that game ended, because I knew the sayonara mambo was coming for me, and I was going to be shuffled out of the studio. So I put on a brave face as they shuffled me out, but I was hysterical afterwards. I was just so sad.
After being on the show for so long.
Absolutely, and I was having so much fun too, For me, it wasn't all about the money. Sure, that would have been great and an added bonus, but I wanted to be there because I wanted to say, hey, what's going to happen next on Majide? I want to keep playing.
Right.
So that was the real devastating part of it all.
Right. And so you left for America right after?
Yes, with all reality shows, it's kind of, I think it varies here and there, but because we are in a foreign country, you are shuffled back to a hotel that night, so you don't see the cast again. You come back in the morning to the studio. You don't see anybody, but you just do wrap-up interviews and get any footage that they might have missed, and then you're shuffled right back to the United States. So when you go to the hotel from the studio for the first time, you finally get one phone call back home because you don't have any phones, internets, TVs, magazines, or any contact with the outside world. So they give you a recorded telephone because you're just filled with all this adrenaline. They don't want you to let out the secret that you didn't win. And of course I called my mom and just, Mom, I'm coming home. So, and she still didn't know whether I had won or not. So it was hard to keep that secret from my parents.
Have you had a chance to see any of the cast members again after the show?
Yes, we absolutely had our very own reunion here in Chicago at the end of June. So everybody came to Chicago. The gal who won actually lives in Bartlett. So we spent a night out there with her, and then we spent the rest of the weekend down here in Chicago. So that's the last time I saw everyone. But Linda, who was my strongest alliance, and Justin, who beat me, came back to Ohio with me in December. My parents always have a themed Christmas party, and this year was I Survived a Japanese Christmas party. So Justin and Linda and I went, and we split my dad's staff into teams and made them play crazy games, and we were kind of the team captains of them. So it was a good time and good to see them as well.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So what do you think you would have done if you won the $250,000 prize?
Oh, I think I probably would have taken that money and invested it into a property in downtown Chicago, or I don't know. I didn't put a lot of thought into that because I thought I don't want to have this one dream and then I'm completely shattered when I don't when I don't get that money, because the dream for me right now is to be on national television and to play a fun game and to be in a different country. So I didn't put a lot of thought into what I was going to do with that money. I thought the most sense would to be invest in a property, but I didn't want to come up with some lavish idea and then be so disappointed if I didn't win.
Right.
Yeah.
Great. So are there any other shows that you're right now hoping to be on?
There are no other current reality shows or game shows as of right now, but I think it'd be really fun in the future to be an HSN or a QVC host. The
Really?
Home Shopping Network,
Yeah.
or QVC, Quality Value and Care, I think. I'm not sure. But I think either one of those would be something that'd be really fun and kind of put together my sales and my sales experience and my entertainment love. So those are my goals for now.
Very nice. We'll see how those work out for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, unfortunately, we have just run out of time, but before you go, we have something from Ridgewood that we'd like to give to you, a complimentary Ridgewood mug.
Oh, thank you. I've been using mine the entire time.
Oh.
So I will use this every morning for my coffee. So
Great.
thank you so much. It was a pleasure
you.
to be
It
here.
was a pleasure to have you.
And you had really good questions. So some of those were stumpers for me, I would say.
Well, you answered wonderfully.
Thank you.
All right, well, looking at the clock on the wall tells us our time here is just about through, but cheer up because another episode of The Scoop is on its way sooner than you think. Once again, I'd like to thank our guest, Megan Bentley, for joining us today. And for Joey Magnelli and the rest of the Ridgewood High School Multimedia Club, I'm Joanne Dynak. Thanks for tuning in to WRHS, because WRHS is the #1 high school TV station in Norridge.